What's up with it? Just woke up to some bullshit this morning. You know, some other guy, some other homeless guy is mad. You know what I'm saying? So, the guy was pissing me off last night. That's one thing about being on the streets. The other homeless people, you gotta watch out for them, man. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like you in their spot or something like that, they don't get upset. Shit like that.
Wait.
A lot of these motherfuckers out here, they be on drugs and shit, bro. You gotta stay away from them, man. I don't kick it with no other homeless person like that. What's up with it? Shine Breezy. About to get this workout on. But I realized that, bruh, only the strong eat first, man. The strongest eat first, and then the weakest eat last. That's what I wanted to talk about, man. It's like that with the seagulls, man. Let me tell you something. The bigger seagulls, they eat first. And then the little seagulls, they come around and eat what's left. The bigger seagulls, they have no interest in the crumbs or even the tiny pieces that could get you full if you eat enough of it. But they got no interest. The bigger seagulls, Chad Seagull, as one of you guys said that, right? Got no interest in the smaller pieces on the ground. They want them big pieces. They want to be full. And they'll punk other seagulls to get food and shit like that. They'll intimidate other seagulls. The strongest eat first, bro, and then the weakest eat last. Like if you're a guy that's 5'4", like short bald guy, he eats last, right? He gets the scraps or he gets the all. Okay? Because he's the smaller, weaker male, man. You know what I'm saying? He eats last. Like me, I'll probably eat like I probably be the guy that's in the middle, where I eat like second to the last. I still eat. Chad and Tyrone and the bad boys, they eat first. They always eat first. Remember that, bro. Oh yeah, and rich men. Don't leave them out. The rich men, they eat first. You eat last. If you haven't accomplished anything in life, bro, you eat last. But if you sometimes, some big movie star, some actor that's rich and famous, you got a lot of money, you eat first. You get the pick of the litter, man. You feel what I'm saying? Just like that old saying, only the strong will survive. You feel what I'm saying? If you weak, bro, you're not gonna survive. Your genetics won't survive. You won't be able to pass on your genetics. Yeah. The average man, we go in the second round. Yeah, we come second. We eat second. Chad and Tyrone, they're always gonna eat first. There's a hierarchy, man. There's a pecking order, bro. You know, we in the middle. After Chad and Tyrone eat a few big pieces, then you get the middle sized pieces, while Chad and Tyrone get the bigger pieces. You know what I'm saying? And then if you incel, if you got below average looking, you eat last, or you don't eat at all, bro. You get the tiny crumbs on the ground, bro. like Chad Siegel, man. And if you an incel Siegel, I seen the incel Siegels. There are incel Siegels, bro. They're the smallest of the seagulls, bro. They're smaller than all the other seagulls. I gotta remember to feed the incel seagulls, cause they scared to go in the middle with the bigger seagulls. The bigger seagulls, they come around and they get in the middle. They start fighting with each other. You know, the bigger seagulls are fighting with each other, and then the smaller seagulls, they're on the side. They don't want to go in the middle because they're scared of the bigger seagulls. So I gotta remember to throw some food on the side, man, for the incel seagulls, for the sub 5 seagulls. And what they do when they get the piece, they don't stay, they fly away because they're scared of the other seagulls. As soon as I throw that piece over there, they'll grab it and they'll start flying away. The other ones, they'll eat and stay. You know. What's up? Hello. Get my pre-workout on. Hello. See if I got this. I think I do. Yeah, I do. Thank you. Mosquito or something? Yeah. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? You got the Chad seagulls, and you got the incel seagulls. The smallest of the seagulls, man. You know, they scared of the bigger seagulls. They don't want to go in the middle, man. You feel what I'm saying? Cause Chad Siegel is hogging shit up, man. Boy, I remember one time that one Chad Siegel, bro. There was a pile of chips in a separate pile from the other bigger pile, and he came through and he checked all the seagulls, man, and he came through and he ate one chip at a time in front of their face, and they didn't do nothing. He was like, let me see here. He bent over and started swallowing one chip at a time, man. And they was looking, they was like, we can't do nothing with this guy, man. He's a bigger seagull. That seagull was big, though, by the way. He was big. He was big seagull, bro. He flooped in and he started checking all seagulls. He was just like, these are my pile of chips, motherfucker, over here. If you come over here, I'm gonna fuck you up. And they listened, man. You know what I'm saying? They stood back while he ate one chip at a time. And he didn't eat all of them. He ate one chip here, one chip there, and swallowed, and was full afterwards. And then, like, I think the smaller seagulls came and got the little crumbs that he had left behind. I'm telling you, them bigger seagulls, they don't They don't have no interest in with the crumbs, man. The little seagulls, they got no choice. And sometimes it don't even be crumbs. It just be like little pieces. You know, it don't be. It be like little pieces like this. The bigger seagulls got no interest in the small pieces, man. The shit don't get them full, man. And that's how it is in the human race, in the dating scene right now. You know, some men get crumbs and scraps, man. What I mean by scraps is like after Chad and Tyrone get done with the women that they're dealing with, you get them last. Like Gwen, she was scraps, even though she did look good. But she was scraps because she already had Chad's baby, man. Or Chad Rome. He was a Chad Rome. Gwen was seeing a half black, half white guy, and Gwen was half black, half white. And I came into the picture. I was only 5'9" at the time, but I was scrumptious. Good, I was looking good at 24 years old. You feel me? I was looking good like a scrumptious snack, you know? And then, and me, I'm thinking I found something. I'm like, man, this is good. But really, you're just getting leftover high-end scraps. Because I consider Gwen, when she was like a 7 in looks, she had big old ass and big old titties. Basically, you're getting leftover high-end seafood. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's leftovers, but it just still tastes good. You know, seafood, you get leftover seafood, man, it's good. Still good, right? But it's still leftovers. I was still getting leftovers. I was getting leftovers from Chad Rome. Okay? I was getting leftovers. I was eating last. I think she didn't have my baby, bro. She had Chad Rome's baby. You feel what I'm saying? And she played with me like a toy, bro. And I played with her like a toy too, man. But I was upset that I had lost her. Because Chad Rome decided that he was going to step back up on the scene again with her. And Chad Rome got me on the phone. He was like, look at here, player. I don't want to hate on you, Brett, player. You know what I'm saying? But this is my woman. And I'm like, oh yeah? I'm like, oh yeah, Chad Rome? You better watch out when you kiss her, because I did come inside her mouth. Now, take that, Chad Rome. You know, the old man walked by. Hey, what did you say, Sonny? He like, what did that guy just say? What I just said right now, he turned and looked this way, man. What did you say, Sonny, about busting the nut? Sevens are hard to keep, bro. You gotta have your money in order, you know. But if she was a 7, she wasn't scraps. A soap scrap is like sub 5. No. A woman with children, that's scraps, because she already got baggage already from a previous relationship, and Chad had already had her, or Chad Rome, in my case, Chad Rome already had his fun with her, okay? And then she went after you last. Because believe it or not, when a woman has a kid, her dating pool shrinks and she becomes less desirable. She doesn't become more desirable. So that's what makes her scraps. Even though she did look good, scraps are scraps. It don't matter. Leftovers, all that other stuff, it doesn't matter. Leftovers are leftovers, even if it's high-end food. You know, you might get the fillet, the lobster, the shrimp, the crab. You know, somebody they didn't finish their plate and they give it to you. It's still, those are leftovers. They don't want it no more, but there's still some crab, some lobster and lobster tail left. There's some shrimp left. There's some macaroni and cheese left. Okay, yeah. So it's like, okay, those are still leftovers. No matter how you slice it, even though the woman she might look delicious, she might look like Gwen, you know, but it's still leftovers. You got to consider that still leftovers because she had Chad Rome's baby first. You came later. She picked you because she's what you're what she wanted second. She's not you're not what she wanted the first. You know what I'm saying? Like my ex-girlfriend, she was scraps. I mean, if she's single with no kids, yeah, that's not scraps, yeah. Yeah. But if she got kids, which Gwen had kids, you feel what I'm saying? And she was a 7 in looks. And she looked very good, by the way. That was the best I did looks wise. I ain't forgot about that girl, but she got kids by another man, she scraps. She's leftovers. You know what I'm saying? Because she already had somebody else's baby first. You were just second choice. That's all it was. I was second choice to Gwen. You know, you short, 5'9", you handsome. Well, 5'9" is really not really short, but to some women it is. 5'9" is short to some women, not all. But I seen dudes get rejected because they were 5'9". Okay, so I know that it's short to some women. I seen that happen on Pop the Balloon where a guy was 5'9" and she rejected him because he was too short. He was 5'9". Okay, so you know, so yeah, if she didn't have a kid by another man, especially Chad Rome, you're taking his leftovers. You're taking his scraps. Now, sometimes they be good scraps, they be the high end scraps, but it's still scraps. Scraps are scraps, bro. And then the Chad Rome or the Chad or Tyrone comes around and knocks him up and uses him, and you come along afterwards. You're getting the leftovers. You're not getting fresh stuff. You're not getting fresh out of the oven stuff. You're not getting a fresh baked cake. What they call the booty, right? Cake. You're not getting fresh baked caked. You're not getting fresh cake, man. You know what I'm saying? You're getting used up cake. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of the stuff tastes good, but it's still leftovers. You gotta look at it that way. The bigger and stronger man came along and planted his seed inside of her, and then you come along. She set the bar higher. Oh, you gotta have your shit together. All right, I'm not getting pregnant again and get left with a kid again. You gotta have your shit together when you get with me. She set the bar higher. That's what happened to me, man, when I was with my ex-girlfriend, man. She already had Chad's baby, man. And then with me, she stayed with me for 12 years, and we didn't have no kid, man. She plugged herself up when it came to me. Yeah. When it came to me, she used that diaphragm thing. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta wash my blanket. My blanket is my sleeping bag getting dirty. I gotta take it to the wash house in a few days. Just wash the sleeping bag. Yeah, so when it came to me, my ex-girlfriend, she plugged herself up using birth control and stuff. But with Chad Rome or Chad, they'll have their babies, man. But when it came to you, man, they plugging stuff up. They'll have sex with you, but they're not trying to have babies with you. You feel what I'm saying? You got women out there like that. I should have known my ex-girlfriend was not trying to have a baby with me. I was being delusional because I cared for her, man. But as I got older, I started realizing, I'm like, hey, she really didn't want to have kids with me. Look how she started using that diaphragm thing as birth control. The diaphragm thing is where they put this thing in their coochie. Well, the doctor put the thing in the coochie where it plugs certain areas up where the sperm won't enter. You know what I'm saying? That way we could have unprotected sex without any babies popping out. So she did that, and she kept that shit in there for years as we were together. You feel what I'm saying? Because she didn't want to get pregnant again, especially by me. You know, she had Chad's baby though. Had his baby, not you. The 5 foot guy, the 5'9" guy, he gets he gets the leftovers and the scraps, man. And the guy that's sub 5, he gets nothing. There's a lot of guys out here that are below average looking, they get nothing. They don't even get scraps. They don't even get single mothers. They don't get what Chad and Tyrone left behind. They don't even get his scraps. Average man like me, 5'9", I get his scraps. I get the 6 foot Chad scraps. I get his scraps. You see what I'm saying? And I have always been getting Chad's and Tyrone scraps. You know what I'm saying? I remember I used to date single mothers and stuff, and they done got knocked up by Chad or Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was under them, though. I was like a 7 in looks. You know? And some black men are going to Thailand getting with a 5 out of 10 single moms playing overseas stepdad. Yeah, that's kind of sad, man. No, you gotta better yourself, man, so you can be the strongest of the strong, bro. So that way you can eat first. Like if I get my shit together, bro, and I go overseas, I'm gonna be checking for women with no children only, man. Because I got the bag. I get to eat first. You know, I have no interest in scraps if I got my money together. You feel me? If I got my money together, I got no interest in scraps. I'm like the bigger seagulls, bro. I have no interest in the little tiny pieces on the ground. I get the bigger pieces. That's what I want. I want the big turkey leg, bro. The drumstick, the breast. You know, I want the thigh pieces. I don't want the wings, bro, with no meat on them. That's for lower males. Lower males get the scraps, man. There's a hierarchy. There's a pecking order in the human race. And Chad and Tyrone eat first. They always have eaten first, bro. You notice that Chad and Tyrone, they got no problem with having babies and passing on their genetics, even if they're broke. Look at what's her name? Keke Palmer. Her Chad Rome boyfriend. You know, the light-skinned boyfriend, he got to pass his genetics with ease without having any money. All he was a fitness trainer or some shit like that, right? Got to pass his genetics with ease. Okay? With ease. You feel me? Lower men get single moms, yup. Men that are under 6 feet tall, you're going to be having a whole lot of single moms coming at you. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat first. Sometimes you do, man. If you aggressive enough and you stay in your range, yeah, you'll eat first. You would have to know your looks level and know where you are in the hierarchy or in the pecking order. You feel what I'm saying? Once you're honest from where you at, then you can work from there, man. Other than that, it's like, let's get out of here, man. Start walking. Other than that, yeah, you're gonna be eating the scraps. I done dated plenty of single mothers, bro, in my lifetime, throughout my 20s and stuff. But I never tried to like have babies with them, bro. You feel what I'm saying? In my 20s, when I was the most active with women, yeah, I could have knocked up a few women. I could have knocked up a few women, bro, when I was like in my prime, when I was younger. I could have. I'm gonna keep that a buck. Yeah, I had a chance to have a family in my 20s. But I was using condoms most of the time, bro. Like before I went to Brazil, I was dating this girl, this white girl. Her name was Kelly, and I had 2 girlfriends, bro. I had man, I was a player, man. This is like year 2000, bro. This is before the internet, And I was a player, man. I had two girlfriends. I had one here and I had one overseas, in Brazil. The girl that I met here, though, And then me and her got together and stuff before she left. And I told her, I said, I'll save money to come out there and be with you and stuff. So I did. That was my second reason why I went to Brazil. I mean, the second time I went to Brazil, that was my reason to visit my girlfriend and to train capoeira, right? Because cause she lived in Bahia. I went to Rio de Janeiro. I went to Rio de Janeiro for like a month, and I came back to Bahia for my final month in Brazil. And then I trained hard out there, came back home, could have had a family if I would have had my shit together, or I could have had a family if I was reckless with the condom usage. I was being careful in 20. I didn't want to have any kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Back what I was saying. Kelly, she wanted to, before I went to Brazil, she wanted to use unprotected sex with me. And I kept on saying no, like, no, I gotta wear a condom. She wanted that baby before I went to Brazil, man. I was 20 years old. I was very young. And Kelly was like, she had babies. She was like 30 and shit. She was 10 years older than me. So she had babies, and she wanted to. She was on one time. She was on top of me, and she wanted to put it in, without the condom. And I was like, nah, don't do that. I was like, no, don't do that. I was just starting to have sex. Like, I just started having sex like around 18 years old. That's when I started having sex. I didn't, before then, I was nearly a virgin, man. But I guess that grown man kicked in or something like that. Females started liking me a little bit more or something like that. And by 18, I was still skinny, man. I was cut and shredded like Bruce Lee at 18. But I could have had my chance. I had my chance to knock up a female, and I'm kind of glad I didn't knock up a female. At the same time, I kind of regret not doing it because now I'm alone and stuff. But hey, hell, at least I'm not bringing my kid into some crazy broke situation. You feel what I'm saying? So, but I remember in my 20s, I used to eat second, man. Just like I was talking about how the weaker, smaller males eat last, from Chad and Tyrone and the bad boy. You got a bunch of people that you're competing with. You got Chad and Tyrone. You got the bad boys that you're competing with. And if you square, if you ain't part of no gang, if you ain't no thug, then you got a lesser chance of having children. Because the thug, he gets to eat first. You're a good guy, I hate to say it, but you're eating last, man. That's why a lot of us don't have any children. Women don't pursue you. Like the women, they pursue the thugs, they pursue Chad and Tyrone. So, they're more likely to pass on their genetic offspring. You feel what I'm saying? They're more likely to pass on their genetics. You feel me? Because women pursue them on a regular basis. So if you're being pursued by women on a regular, without any struggle, your chances of having a baby or accidentally knocking them up, it goes high. But if you're a guy that has to always pursue and put extra work in, just to pursue and get women to like you, your chances are slim to none. If you're under 6 feet tall, that's automatically, dating is gonna be a little bit harder for you throughout life, period. It's like you already got the odds stacked against you. If you're under 6 feet tall, you better be shredded. That's why I work out. Look, man, I didn't even get no women until I got my body right. That's when they started coming in. In high school, when I started to feed myself more because I was able to work and I was teaching capoeira classes and stuff. So I was making them like $180 a week or something like that. So I was able to eat lunch good and eat dinner good. I was able to feed myself. This is back in the 90s, man. You know what I'm saying? But dating, even though I was like better, I was good looking for my height. I had the baby hair, you feel what I'm saying? I had waves in my hair because I used to always brush my hair and I used to walk around with a wave cap when I was younger. But I'm gonna be honest, even in my prime, as a young man in his 20s, dating was still kind of tough for me when it came to women that I was heavily attracted to. Now, I got plenty of women in the bedroom that I wasn't attracted to, because as you get older, you become more pickier as a man. I think so. You become more picky, because you like a certain body type. Feel what I'm saying? But I remember, it was being tough for getting women that were like sevens. It was tough for me even back then, bro. Like, when I got a 7 when I was younger, bro, I didn't keep her for very long, bro. I didn't have my money together. And this is before the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I remember my mestre, that motherfucker got to eat first. I remember I like this girl, because I'm making all the analogies and trying to get you guys to see a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. Like, I remember as a capoeirista doing capoeira, my mestre, I know he was lightweight hating on me and stuff. He was hating on me because he saw me as competition. Fight girls that came around into the classroom and shit. And he was older. He was like 50. And I was like 20 something years old. I was younger than that, man. I came into capoeira, I was 15. When I went to capoeira, when I came into capoeira, I was 15. Got up to 18. I remember I was dealing with this girl, her name was Camille. We didn't really do nothing, man. But I went over her house, man, and gave her an oil massage. She gave me an oil massage. I don't know. I'm nearly a virgin at the time, man. We gave each other oil massages, and nothing popped off. But I think if I had a little bit more experience, something could have popped off. But I left it alone because she wasn't aggressive. You know what I'm saying? But we was giving each other oil massages. But the next thing I know, she's dating my mestre. And he got to hit it. And I'm like, what? But he's a mestre of the capoeira, bro. He's the main guy ahead of a group. He calls the shot, and he calls the shots in the capoeira holder. When you stop the holder, when he says stop the holder, you gotta stop the holder. When he tells you that you're being too aggressive with the other student, you gotta obey. So basically, he had power in the capoeira holder, and that's what she was attracted to. She was attracted to the power that he had in the capoeira holder, even though he was 50. Short Brazilian dude. He was 5'7", man, or 5'6" or something like that. And he beat me to the coochie, and I was a young man, and I was better looking. You feel what I'm saying? Of course, I'm better looking. I'm a young man. But he beat me to the coochie. He was shorter than me, but he had power in the copper water holder. And every time I used to see him, and he used to laugh at me because he got the coochie first. It was kind of like Ray J and Kanye, you know what I'm saying? When Ray J was talking to Kanye or making a song, he was making a song to Kanye talking about I hit the coochie first, something like that, with Kim K and all the other stuff. It was kind of like that. He used to mock me on the under. And he was like, Camille, she said you was trying to make a pass at her. And she said that you was too young. You look like a young boy or some shit like that. And next thing you know, this fool was taking her to Brazil. You know, he took her to Brazil. You know, you know what I'm saying? He had a little bit of money. He had some status in the capoeira holder. He's known as a master in capoeira, so everybody respects him. So she chose him over me. And I at the time I was just yellow belt, orange belt. I think I was blue at the time. I was a blue belt student, bro. And he used to always come around and mock me. Now that I kind of knew he was doing that though, mocking me when I was young. You know, talking about I took the girl first and I got it first. But he was saying he was just downplaying it. He was watering it down. You feel what I'm saying? You know. And he had more experience with women. I was just fresh out the womb, 18 years old, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, didn't have much experience with women. I wasn't really I didn't even start having sex until I was 18 years old. So he come around, he used to throw it in my face. You know what I'm saying? How he got the woman and I didn't. I let it go because I had some other options. So I wasn't tripping about what the mestre was doing. I said, fuck it. The mestre eat first. Fuck it. I got other women in the roster. I had just started having around 18. I had just started having a roster of women that I was dealing with. So was I tripping about Camille? A little bit, but I didn't let it bother me because I had other options. I started dating other females in the capoeira holder, man. You feel what I'm saying? So, but I always knew that he was in competition, or he saw me as competition with me in the capoeira class. I didn't get it too much when I was younger, man. I thought that I was doing something wrong or something. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because he was always telling me, yeah, don't go after them white girls, bro. But I'm like, bro, you go after white women. Matter of fact, right now your girlfriend is white. Pam, she was like a green cord in the capoeira. She trained up under him for years. Pam was like 30 years old and he was 50. So he had a thing for like young white women, bro. And he used to like try to block me and side hate on me and stuff like that, cock block and all the other stuff. And I know every time a new white girl came into the class, he was always checking to see if she was looking at me and I was looking at her. And he would always try to hate, like, don't be messing with these older women, bro. Leave them women alone. They gonna use you, bro, which is true. I mean, now I get it. He get older, man. An older woman, she ain't got no plan for you. She's gonna use you and toss you to the side, bro. She got more life experience. She know what she's doing, and you don't know. You don't know what you're doing. So she just toying with you and toss you to the side. And he was right about that. But he had other agendas too because he wanted them. You feel what I'm saying? You know, he wanted the female. So yeah, he got her first, man, and because he was the capoeira mestre and stuff like that. I lost that battle. I couldn't win. You know. But like I said, man, there's a hierarchy, man, in every single goddamn species on this planet, bro. The animal kingdom, the human kingdom, you know, there's a hierarchy. There's a pecking order, okay? Where the bigger motherfuckers, the bigger strong motherfuckers, the strongest, the biggest motherfuckers like Chad and Tyrone and the bad boys, they all eat first, man. You eat last. You eat what's left over, bro. Unless you become a rich guy, you're gonna always be eating last. And I done dated so many single mothers. Single mothers, they sometimes pursue you sometimes when I was young. Man, I remember, like, I used to be pursued by single mothers. They used to, like, give me shots and to let me know that they like me and shit. And I had no problem getting black women coming up, man. You feel me? When I was coming up, I had no problem getting black women. I was a good-looking black dude, but I wasn't no Pookie or nothing. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But I used to have my share with black women. I still do. I still attract black women. They older now. I ain't getting them youngins like I used to. Because, when you young, they young. Shit. But I already noticed, like, man, after they get done, like, messing around with the 6-foot guy and they get tired of him, then they come running to you, bro. You ever notice that? Some of you guys who are second, basically what they would choose second. They're not, they'll have babies with the guys who they choose first. But then when they do, when they do her wrong, okay, when them dudes do her wrong, then she start, like, branching out, lowering her standards and start messing with shorter men and stuff. Now, I remember, I noticed that. You ever notice that it's easier to get a woman that's a single mother than a woman that don't have kids? You ever notice that? Especially if you're a guy that's average height, average looking or whatever. You ever notice that? A lot easier to get the single mother than the women that don't have children. The women who don't have children, they ain't trying to fuck with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Unless you, like I said, you at the top of the pecking order. You're at the top of the kingdom, bro. Then you get chose first. Because women pursue you with a passion. If you a Chad or a Tyrone, they pursue Chad and Tyrone with a passion. That's why when some motherfucker told me one time, he was like, man, there's a Chad sale out there. I'm like, Chad sale? What the hell are you talking about? Women pursue Chad. All these Chads in Hollywood, Johnny Depp, George Clooney, and Tyrone's too. Tyson Bedford. These men are at the top of the pecking order, bro. They're at the top. They have no problem passing on their genes. Matter of fact, passing on their genes is like walking to them, man. It's not like running and exercising. No, it's like walking. It's easy. Running is hard. Exercising is hard. For me and you, passing on our genes meaning exercise, 6-pack abs, low percentage body fat at all times. Don't chunk up. Don't put on weight. Women won't deal with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my life. That's the average guy life. That you got to hit the gym so you can attract. Because if you chunk up, best believe they ain't gonna fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? With a Chad or a Tyrone, Chad and Tyrone, life is easy with women. It's like walking to them. It's not like running. Attracting a woman for a Chad or a Tyrone is like walking. That's it. Easy. For me, attracting a woman, it's like running. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Be buff. Be at low percentage body fat at all times. That's my life. Because I put on weight, best believe I'm going to be sub 5, man. I won't get no dates. You feel what I'm saying? Some of the dudes they Chads and Tyrones, and they could gain weight and still get a woman, bro. That's how easy their life is with women. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's how easy their life is with women. Is that they are at the top of the pecking order, man. They're at the top of the food chain. You know what I'm saying? All them females, they used to be slobbering behind Tom Cruise and shit. Tyson Bedford, they scream when Tyson Bedford walks in the fucking goddamn door, bro. Remember that one? Was it Facing LMS video when he had Tyson Bedford walk into that house and all the women were fucking screaming for him, bro? If it was me, they'd be like, I seen better. I dated better. Yeah, I could have been walked in swollen and everything. But I don't have Tyson Bedford's face, though. You feel what I'm saying? So your face matter, your genetics matter. Even if I would have walked in there in my prime, they would have been like, no, well, he looks okay. He okay looking. You know, a lot of these females, they only date the top dudes. Like, you got women out there. You got women out there like that, where they only date the top men. I heard it come from their fucking mouth. Like, I was watching another Facing LMS video, and I've been watching the videos lately, because he don't make no more videos, but I go back and I listen to some of the videos. I view the videos again, and this one chick, her words that came out of her mouth, I only date men that are hot. And I was like, what? Yeah, see? That's why you have a hard time getting women that's above your looks level. Because of what she said. She was like, I only date men that are hot. You average looking, you ain't hot, bro. You just average. You're average at best. You know what I'm saying? So dudes like me, you who are average looking, we gotta like obtain Diddy type of money to get Cassie. Look what happened. Diddy, average dude, small penis, and all that other stuff. The stuff that they were saying about Diddy, he had to accomplish a lot to get a woman like Cassie. You know, Chad, who she started dating like afterwards, all he had to do was become a fitness instructor. And she was broke with Chad, bro. But yet he get to have babies with her and pass on his genetic offspring. You see how easy it is for Chad? He could be a broke, struggling fitness trainer, Chad, while you have to be a billionaire to get a woman like Cassie, bro. That's the way it is, bro. Chad, he's at the top of the pecking order. Even though you might have billions of dollars in your pocket, he's still the most higher desired guy. You know what I'm saying? Even though Diddy had her first in her prime, you know what I'm saying? And Diddy already passed on his genetic legacy already. He already got kids. So he probably wasn't trying to have no more. He was just out there trying to have fun. That's about it. With them freak-offs, you know? But she, after they broke up, she went after Chad. That's who she wanted in the first place. She wanted Chad or Tyrone. And that's why they were having the freak-offs, because she was still craving Chad or Tyrone. Diddy was letting Cassie sleep with Tyrone's, bro, in front of him while he was directing the shit. Well, you want Tyrone? We gonna get on the phone and we gonna call the escort service. We gonna import some Tyrones so you can sleep with a Tyrone. I'd rather for you to do it in my face than do it behind my butt. That was his thing. Even though she did sleep with the Tyrone behind his back a couple of times, this is what I heard. You know, but he was importing Tyrones from overseas. Not overseas, but from other states and shit. That's why he got in trouble. He was guilty of that. He found guilty of importing people to engage in prostitution. That's what he was found guilty of. But he was importing all these Tyrones for her to sleep with. Feel what I'm saying? You know, you might have $1 billion, but Tyrone is still, Chad and Tyrone are still, they up there with you, bro. You know, matter of fact, looks come first, and then money comes second. It don't matter if you got $1 billion, bro. You're just not desirable by the top women. Now, you might be desirable by average women like you, but a woman out of your league is a woman out of your league. There's nothing you can do to change that. I don't care if you could get height surgery, you could get jaw surgery. A woman, if she's out of your league, she's out of your league. Chad and Tyrone get her first. You feel what I'm saying? Chad and Tyrone gets her first. You get her last if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Because some of you guys, some of you guys are struggling in the dating market. You don't mind getting leftovers and scraps. You're like, man, scraps, leftovers is better than nothing. Believe me, yeah, scraps is better than nothing, bro. Like, at least you got some scraps. At least you got the smaller chips on the ground. When the Chads and Tyrones come around, they eat the big pieces and give you what's left over. He get tired of her. You don't want to deal with her no more. Toss it to the side. You know what I'm saying? Toss it to the side. The Punisher. And yeah, and the Punisher, he wasn't really a Tyrone. He was just in shape. Just by his facial genetics and stuff, no, he wasn't a Tyrone. He was more like an average looking dude, but he was really in shape. He was more in shape than Diddy was. He was shredded. He even said it himself. He was like, you didn't have to be the best looking dude, but I was the best in bed. That's what he said. I was the best in bed. And that's why Cassie was having him fly everywhere. She was paying for his ticket just to come out to screw her, bro. You know what I'm saying? These men are in the hierarchy when it came to like attractiveness. They were higher than Diddy, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a hierarchy. There's a pecking order, and we hate it because we can't control the pecking order, man. We came out how we came out. You came out average looking. You just came out average looking. You know what I'm saying? But his successor, Rehab Room, does. He upload almost every Friday. Okay, somebody that was facing LMS's friend or whatever. Okay, yeah, I miss his videos, man. I miss facing LMS's videos. We used to like, he was a good dude too, man. You could tell that facing LMS was a good dude. But he spent a lifetime of inceldom because the dude was well over 6 foot tall. He could have been a basketball player. That's what dudes who got hideous faces do, man. When they young, they can't get women because of their face. They start going for the basketball dream. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're making up for the lack of looks, man. Like, if you don't do that, then yeah, you screwed, man. Like, if you don't get the bag as a guy that's average or below average looking, you don't get the bag. We're talking about it's going to be a lifetime of struggle. Because you got Chad and Tyrone on the loose, bro. They beat you to the punch. And plus, they're younger than you, too. Especially when you start to age out of the game, that's when you got to start worried about the bag. When you start to age out of the game, like when you get to be 25, 30, 35, you start aging, that's when you got to really like be focused on the bag. You know what I'm saying? Especially after you turn 40, man, you better be turning over a new leaf. You better be on that grind hard too. Because it can only get worse with age. Like if you're a guy that's struggling in the dating market, every year that goes by, you're going to struggle more because you're aging. The looks are leaving. The average looks is starting to become below average looks after a while. You feel what I'm saying? Average looks start becoming, when we get older, it starts to become below average looks. It just keep getting worse as you get older. So the money, man, is more important, man, as you get older. You feel what I'm saying? I got dry ass lips right now. Dry lips. I gotta get some chapstick. We gotta drink some water or I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna pull a muscle. My thing is, if you are lacking in height, please stay in the gym. You can't afford to put on weight. What the fuck? All these goddamn ants everywhere. Hello, hey. You see that female? She checked for me. That female, she's around 50 years old. You got the 50-year-old, they'll check for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'll have the female that just rolled by and she said hello to me. I'll have sex with her. But would it be long term? I don't think so. She's around a 5 in looks. She older though. She like 50. You know. Yeah, she's around 50, but she got long legs. That's what I like. She kind of tall. She ain't fat. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell these women are aged, and you know, I mean, shit. I still would bang her. You know, I'd do it. She got a nice little butt on her. It ain't like hourglass shape like I like it, like all the hips and the curves and all that other stuff. Nah, not like that. It ain't how I like it. Like this female who came into Starbucks this morning, that's how I like it. She came in very curvy, and man, these women right here, man, to those type of women, you are invisible. They don't even see you. If she's hella curvy and she got a flat stomach and she's only checking for Chad, bro. She's checking for Chad only, bro. You gotta drink some water though. Fucking ants everywhere, bro. Is there... I'm trying to think. Is there something around here that they want? Is it my bag? There's nothing around here. I got on my bag. Is there crumbs in my bag? There might be crumbs in my bag. But they out here crawling over everything. I don't like ants. I hate ants. Yeah, so it's like, my thing is, man, if you're a guy and you know you at a disadvantage with the height, and maybe you just average looking at best, you got to work harder. Chad and Tyrone got an easy life, man, with women. Their life is like walking, and they won't understand your struggle until they walk into your shoes. You feel me? I'm fucking burping and shit, drinking that Rockstar. You know, don't walk around delusional, man. Like, be in your reality. Somebody came around my channel and said that you're out of touch with reality. I'm like, but what type of, like, out of touch with reality have I been talking? Like, have I been talking like a short ball guy? Haven't been talking like that, bro. I'm telling you to get the bag so you can have an easier time with women. That's the reality. You know, I always have been in reality mode, bro. My reality, I got a disadvantage. Well, number one, I'm under 6 feet tall, so that makes me less desirable to women. Number two, I'm 45 years old. My age plays a huge role when it comes to reproduction purposes. Okay, it's gonna be harder to find a younger woman at my age. I know that. That's why I'm on the bag hunt out here 24/7. So that way, I could get the bag and pass on my genetic legacy with ease, without any struggle. Uh, if I got the bag, the shorty pants. If I had the bag, I could walk in there with confidence and get her number just like that. You know what I'm saying? And she know I got the bag. She see me driving a Porsche. She see me doing good financially. She gon' get with me. She already showing me some interest, even though I'm broke. You know, shorty pants. You know, shorty pants part 2, not part 1. Shorty pants part 1 liked me too, but she went after the taller guy, man. I seen her hanging out with the tall dude. She pursued him with a passion. She might look at you and be interested and think that you're handsome, but she gonna go with the taller guy. She might come back for you later, you know, after she done had a baby with the taller guy first, and then she'll come back and once the taller guy leaves from her life and divorces her or goes with another woman, she'll come back for you, who she wants second. But right now, she want that tall guy first, and she want me second. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, man. The tall guy, the guy over 6 feet tall, eats first. You eat second, bro. You get the single mothers, bro. You 5'9", you get the single mothers. You get women that Chad and Tyrone is not checking for, because Chad and Tyrone got options. They don't have to deal with single mothers. That's why you get single mothers, because Chad and Tyrone don't have to deal with them. They got so many options that they could only go with the female that don't have children. You know, they go, you know what I'm saying? If you're Tyson Beckford, if you that dude from Superman, if you know what I'm saying, if you guys don't know who Tyson Beckford is, he's a Tyrone, okay? If you Tyson Beckford, you know, if you Superman, that dude that played Superman, I forgot his name, or the dude who played Batman, you feel what I'm saying? You know, you're just not gonna get any play. You know, if you're a Chad Rome, like Jeremy Meeks, you got an easy life with women. You don't have to work hard. Like some guys got it like that genetically, bro. They came out of the womb with better genetics than you. And you had to work hard. You had to become a millionaire or a billionaire just so you could have the life that they have with women. You had to become a millionaire just so you could have the same type of lifestyle that Chad and Tyrone has. Because best believe, you know, what's his name? Tyrese, he's in Hollywood right now living like a Tyrone, because he's attracting top tier women all day long. He's in Hollywood, even though he's below average looking, Tyrese, he's like a 4, okay? Because he got the eye area is jacked, okay? Your eye area can make or break you, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Your eye area can make or break you. Tyrese got a fucked up eye area. He got beady eyes, man. His eyes are very small, bro. They beady. You know, you can't have beady eyes, man. like a doll or something, you know, or like a teddy bear or some shit like that. You can't have beady eyes, man. That's jacked up genetics, bro. That's why his girl got up and left. You know, his woman that he had a baby with, his ex-wife, Samantha Lee. That's why she got up and left. She couldn't take those beady eyes no more, man. She couldn't take the sub 5 of him, because she's used to attracting Chads and Tyrones. I guarantee that Samantha Lee, if Tyrese was a Tyrone, she wouldn't have had left him, bro. She would still been with him. Angela Jolie and Brad Pitt was together for years, okay, before I think they eventually called it quits. But they had babies together and everything. They was together for years. You know, what's her name? You know, Cassie been with Chad for years, bro. They had babies together. They staying together because she really truly in love with Chad. With you as a sub 5 guy, you're gonna have, even though you got a lot of money, or even an average looking guy, you're gonna have a hard time keeping her long term. The only reason why Diddy kept her long term is because he had that money. Yeah, the money was good. He was paying her bills and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So you as a guy that's average, you gotta work hard. You gotta fucking like get money and be a billionaire and shit. While Chaz and Tyrone, they walk around and attract women with ease, like a breeze. You feel what I'm saying? They walk around. It's like attracting women to them is like walking. All they gotta do is just walk around and they're a chick magnet. Everywhere they go, they get treated good by women. They get worshipped by women. Jeremy Meeks was worshipped by women, bro. They even offered to pay his bail. He even, when he first got out of jail, man, they had this female, she flew him out so she could have Jeremy Meeks in her video, bro. All of a sudden, he started getting model contracts. He started becoming a model and shit. You know what I'm saying? Had him walking on the catwalk and shit. The catwalk runway, okay? Had him on the catwalk, bro. He was getting all these endorsements. He became a millionaire off his looks. That's called looks. And he was 35 too. Like, that's called looks privilege, bro. A lot of us don't have the looks privilege. You feel me? You average or below average looking, you're gonna struggle throughout your whole entire life until you get that bag. Then you be at the top of the food chain. You know, even then when you get money, you might not struggle with options, but you're gonna be struggling to keep a woman long term. Because in her head, she still wants Chad. She still wants Tyrone. Even though you have $1 billion, bro. She still desire Chad. You see who Cassie got with when she broke up with Diddy. You see who Samantha Lee Simmons got with who after she broke up with after she broke up with Tyrese. Okay, they all ran back to Chad and Tyrone. These Chad and Tyrone are the big seagulls, bro, that I was telling you about. And they hogging shit. And they'll check you. Just like that one time I saw that big seagull fly in, swoop down, and the smallest seagulls, it was huddled around the chips, and he came in, she started chasing him away. The bigger seagull, he spread his wings out, because that's what they do when they want to intimidate other seagulls. They spread their wing out like they're bigger. He was spreading his wings out, chasing the other seagulls away from the chips. And he turned around and he bent over slowly. he looked at the chips. He was like, now, let's see. I done checked all the other seagulls. So now I can eat this one chip at a time. And the other seagulls that were defenseless, they couldn't do nothing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're defenseless against Chad and Tyrone, bro. You can't win against them. You could win with money, but not for very long, because eventually, bro, she's gonna use you to get the baby, and she's gonna go run back to Chad and Tyrone. Chad and Tyrone at the top of the food chain. That's what I'm thinking. Like, man, if I get the bag, I might as well stick with just average women. At least I know I'll be, loved. An older average woman in her late 20s or early 30s or some shit like that, with no children. You know what I'm saying? I might be checking for that, but by the time they get to be 30, they already got children. So that'll be a hard thing for me to find, especially even if I got the bag. It'll be hard to find an early 30-year-old woman without children. You know what I'm saying? So I probably might have to stick with just young females around 22, 23 years old. So I think I can attract still some 22, 23-year-olds, unless I keep my body in shape, but they'll be average looking at best, like me. I can't. Stacy's and the Keishas, bro, they out of your league. Like, yeah, you can attract them with money, but you're not Tyrone. You're not Chad. So you'll never, like, You'll never have a Stacy or a Keisha, or a Chung Lee fall in love with you. A top tier woman, you can forget about that, bro. If it doesn't happen naturally, then it would never happen. If you're not hot enough, as they say, it's not gonna happen. Top tier women, they see through me, bro. Top tier women, only average women. I'm only invisible to average women. I'm not visible to top women. And you kind of go against nature too. Like, the average man's supposed to be with the average woman. Top tier men are supposed to be with top tier women. So when you break that, when you try to go against that, there's gonna be some things that's gonna go down. Number one, she gonna just use you for a baby, get the baby going, and then take off, like Samantha Lee Simmons did to Tyrese. Once they had a baby, she started acting different. She started pushing them away, and eventually she left them for no apparent reason. A lot of guys, especially sub-5 guys, they can't build long-term relationships with Stacy's. That ain't gonna never happen. Maybe if you're average looking, but Stacy's and Keisha's, you can forget about it, bro. Unless you got money, then yeah, you can attract those type of women. I said this in my last video, man, that you won't never ever see a top tier woman without money, bro. And I know some of you guys want top tier women, bro. Like, I noticed that a lot of like incels want top tier women too, because they always talking about the Stacys, the Keishas. They're obsessed with these type of women, and they'll never get these women. Nah, not in this lifetime, unless you come back different somehow. Unless you come back to be a Chad or a Tyrone, you'll never have an authentic relationship with a top tier woman, bro. It's just not gonna be good. So sometimes when you get rich, sometimes you might want to stay in your lane, or at best get an average woman, man. You feel what I'm saying? At best, you're gonna get an average woman if you're an average man. You feel what I'm saying? Because some of you guys are average. There's a few like Tyrones that follow me too, man. And these dudes are highly desirable, even though they under 6 feet tall. They highly desirable and shit like that. So, what can I say? You got to do the best that you can to attract women in your life, bro. Sometimes I get pissed off. Like this yesterday, I went on a rant. I was upset. You know what I'm saying? I was upset because of what happened in Starbucks. You feel what I'm saying? And that was my fault. You feel what I'm saying? But because I was drunk and stuff. But I'm sober now, and I totally feel different about the situation. But the fact that little fucking Stacy or whatever has missed 7.5, talking about I make her feel uncomfortable just talking to her, that kind of pissed me off though, bro. And that'll piss anybody off. Rejection pisses you off. Rejection pisses you off, bro. Constant rejection all the time from women that you truly desire, that pisses you off. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna end this live, man, because what time is it? Yeah, it's already 10 o'clock and shit. It's time for me to get a 45-minute workout. See these older ladies, they be checking me. They like me and shit. I have sex with a few of them, man. Don't get me wrong, I would tear that pussy up, you feel me? But long term, I don't think it'll work for me, man. Because I want to have kids, I want to have children. But sometimes you're going to find videos like me of me lashing out at women like that, especially if you're frustrated because of rejection and stuff like that. You're going to see me do videos like that, go on a rant sometimes out of frustration, because those emotions, those are natural emotions when you're constantly being rejected by women that you desire, like Miss 7.5, right? Got rejected like by her because she's only checking for the Chads and Tyrones, and it pisses you off that you can't attract these type of women. You can't attract nowadays 7.5. That's out of your league, bro. A 7.5 is out of your league. She's damn near an 8. You could tell these women, they be in a little bubble too at Starbucks, and they not looking around and checking for other men in there, because most men are invisible to a lot of men, to a lot of women in there. You know, Chads and Tyrones are a small population. You don't see Chads and Tyrones everywhere around here. So they only checking for a small pool of men. They only want Chad and Tyrone. That's it. That's why we struggle. Chad and Tyrone at the top of the food chain. They're at the top of the pecking order. If it wasn't for Chad and Tyrone, you'll be able to pull these women. Other than that, as long as Chad and Tyrone exist, you ain't gonna get these women unless you got money. That's it. I gotta go, man. I gotta work out, do my push-ups and sit-ups. I'm running my mouth too much, and I gotta drink some more water and some more Rockstar and get this workout on. It's just sad reality, man. Look, man, we wasn't born no Chads and Tyrones, bro. I don't think I got a bunch of Chads and Tyrones following me. I think I got one Tyrone that's following me. I think his name was forgot his name. It was one Tyrone. He called himself a Tyrone Light. You know, that followed me and shit like that. But until you walk into the average man's shoes, I don't want to hear you comment on how bad dating is or the struggle. Or, nah, don't come in here commenting on the average man or the below average man struggle. You feel what I'm saying? Because you, as the top of the food chain order, you don't know what it's like. Some motherfuckers are dating coaches. They can't speak on your struggle like if you 6'5", you can't come in here and teach me how to get women and shit. If you like what's his name, AMS, okay? He can't really comment on a guy that's 5'9". He don't know what the struggle it is up under 6 feet tall. Because I'm now I'm starting to understand my struggle a little bit more now that I'm older. You know, I know why I struggled a little bit more to get those women that I really like with the curves in the body is because your height. If you look around, the 5'9" don't get curvy looking women unless they're a 5'9" Chad, okay, or a Tyrone, a 5 foot Tyrone. I look around, I see what dudes who are 5'9" got. They got fat women. Look around. Dudes who are under 6 feet tall, they got single mothers, fat women. They get the leftovers, the scraps. They got fat women. They got women who are less attractive. And you know what I'm saying? They're not getting curvy women, because I'm seeing curvy women with nice breasts and no kids, you know, nice big behind. I'm seeing them walking around with 6-footers, bro. Your height is because your height alone is one of the reasons why you struggle, and your age. You know, you get over a certain age, you start struggling more with young females. That's why I say we got to keep your body right. You got to work out. You got to keep the 6-pack, man, and get one. My 6-pack coming in. Ever since I stopped drinking so much, it's already starting to come in now. I'm starting to lean out more. You know, I didn't drink last night, and I might not drink tonight. I might have a drink tonight because I didn't drink yesterday. I was disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And I might go another night without drinking, but I think that's kind of dangerous, man, because I don't want to turn into a guy that's hella chatty no more. You know, I don't want to start crying on the internet because I done took a break from drinking, and then I go back to drinking and I can't hold my liquor anymore. You know. So I might have a drink tonight just to keep it in the rotation. Because if I spend another 2 days without drinking, it's going to be the same shit. I'm just cutting down. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to cut down on how much I drink. Like usually I drink about 5 or 6 shots. I'm going to bring it down to 4. That's it. 4 shots and then keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really trying to cut down. I'm preparing for my mate, you know. Feel me? I don't want to go into my situation being a drunken daddy or something, or a drunken husband. Because I do still want to get married and stuff, man. But all the stuff that I was saying yesterday, I was pissed off, bro. Now that I'm cool down today, man. I'm not talking that same song no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. I'm cooling down, and I'm focusing on my bread, I'm really starting to think like at this point, average women would be the best for me if I do get the bag. At least I know I got a woman that really truly loves me for me, and I can do that because I still got average women checking for me, man. I just my money ain't together. I'm not a good man if my money ain't together, especially at 45. That's why I haven't been going out there trying to get laid and seek women like that. But I'm the kind of guy, especially at my age, women don't pursue me hard no more like they used to. I remember when I was younger, I used to get pursued hard. In my early 20s to my mid 20s to my late 20s, I used to be pursued. Women used to like shoot their shot at me, bro. Women used to be looking at me in the club from a distance, okay? You know, they don't do that no more, man. Cause I got older. You know, I used to be prime steak. Now I'm leftover steak. Now I'm just kidding. Nah, for real. I had it good when I was younger, bro. When you got youth and your skin is glowing and shit like that, bro, and you got a tighter face and your nose ain't as big, you know what I'm saying? You get more attention. I used to be called the hottest guy in the club. This one chick told me that one time. She was a big booty white girl, and she was an average at best chick. Okay, she average face, big booty, and she told me straight up, "Oh, you was the hottest thing in the club. You was the hottest thing." Yeah, of course, yeah. I was at a club where, you know, there wasn't that many men, there wasn't that much competition up in there, and most of the men in there that go to that club were older men and shit. So yeah, I outsmoked a lot of guys in that club. That's why I kept going back to that club. Because it was less competition. When I went to like the other club with a bunch of young dudes and shit like that, yeah, I got some action, but it wasn't a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But I went to the other club because it was less competition in there for me to deal with. Pick the easiest path. You feel me? You know, the path with the least resistance. You know, but I was like, what, 20? I thought I was 35. It was 30, 32, 33. Yeah, and I ended up hitting it, man. I ended up having sex with her, man. You know what I'm saying? I had sex with her once. But there was some other guy in her roster, too, that I was competing with. She just disappeared, though, after that. You know, and plus I was still in a relationship, I think. I think I was like early 30s, man. Yeah, I was 31. Was it 31? No. I was still with my ex-girlfriend, so I was in my late 20s. So yeah, I was bad as fuck, bro. Now, I wasn't a Tyrone, but I was right up under them niggas, though. I was like the 7. You know, then you got the 8, 9s, and 10s. But I was the 7. When you were 7 before the internet blew up, man, you got your face match. You feel what I'm saying? Like Gwen was a 7, I was a 7. I was a shorter 7. You know what I'm saying? But I was a 7. You know, so we matched. That's why we were sleeping together. We had face match going. You feel what I'm saying? I was in really good shape. I was still doing capoeira, by the way. When I was with Gwen, I was like, hell yeah, I was in full swing with capoeira. We talking about 6-pack abs, just shredded. I was shredded. You feel me? I was shredded. That's why I was dealing with Gwen. That's why me and Gwen was together. You know, if Gwen wasn't attracted to me, bro, we wouldn't have been together. I was with her for 6 months, probably a little less than that. Yeah, about 6 months, and then we actually got back hooked up again after she had a second falling out with the Chad Rome. She had a second falling out with him, and somehow I ended up over there giving her some more sex and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I was a young man, bro. You feel me? I was a young man, and I had a lot more looks. My nose was smaller. My my face was tighter. You know, I was young. I was younger than her. She was 32. I was 24. You feel what I'm saying? So, Yeah, you know, I got her second. Chad Rome had her first in her prime and shit. And I was in my prime, and she left her prime, but she still looked good. Gwen still looked. I still would hit that to this day. If I saw her, and she about 50 something now though, and she still got that big old booty, I still would hit it, man. She got them big old titties she still got, I still get it, man. I probably won't be with her long term, but I still would hit it. Especially if she still got the big booty and the big titties, man. Gwen had all that. She had everything. That's why it was so competitive. And this is before the internet, bro. That's why I didn't keep her for very long. Dude wanted to come back into that life. He missed them big booties and them big titties that she had. Cause she had big teardrop titties. I mean, it was like this, bro. Like, and he had a big old butt, a big old huge butt. I mean, bro, I was hitting it from doggy style every which way, bro. You feel what I'm saying? But Chad Rome came back and took her, man. That's kind of pissed me off, man. And he was a Chad Rome. Remember I told you that I was at her house and Chad Rome decided to drop something off or come over or whatever. And she hid me in the bedroom. You guys remember this story? She hid me in the bedroom, and I went in the bedroom, and he finally had left. And I looked outside while he was leaving. I saw him. He was taller than me. He was a light-skinned dude. He was half black, half white. Because I remember he picked up something off the ground. Cause I guess there was a bunch of toys for the kids. Because Gwen had kids. And he picked up the toys and put it somewhere like out of the way or something. And he got in his car and he had drove off. But then after that, surely I hit the pussy and then I left. Went back home, to my small apartment. You know what I'm saying? And that was it, man. That was it. Ever since then, man, I haven't been able to replace a female that with the body that she had and stuff like that. I haven't been able to replace that. It's been women that got no booty or, but I'm lying. I had some side chicks, man, that I was hitting on the side, when I was with my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend had no ass at all, but behind her back, I was sleeping with women with big asses. I was taking them to hotels and stuff. But these are average women with big asses. These are not the Stacys and shit. So like I said, I've always been with just average women. Nothing special about their looks, but they're not like sub 5 either. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, I gotta work out. You guys have a good day. This live stream has already been over an hour. But I got a lot to get out, man. A lot of frustration and anger that I gotta get out. That's why my live streams be so goddamn long and shit. There's a lot of coping, a lot of complaining, a lot of upset, mad, angry, frustration be coming out in my videos. And ambition too. It's not just, I got ambition coming out in my videos too. And I'm talking about get the bag. At the same time, while in the process of getting the bag, there's a lot of anger and frustration, bro. A lot of rejection. You feel what I'm saying? From women that I'm heavily attracted to. That's the problem, bro. But I'm not living in a delusional mindset. I know I gotta get money to get these women, bro. I'm not delusional. I'm not like short 5 guy or whatever his name is. A short bald guy. I'm not like him. He's delusional. He's thinking that he don't have to get money to get women. Just listen to how he's saying and what he talking about. His last video of leading with your wallet and shit. Listen to what he was saying. That he doesn't have to go out and make $1 million or a few million in the bank just so he can have a better life with women. He thinking that women are gonna fucking come to him automatically without him getting that bag. That's not gonna happen. You'll be old and gray, and you would die of loneliness before that happened. You know what I'm saying? He never once he started talking about, yeah, I'm getting the bag. I'm chasing this dream. I'm 5'4", but I got a big heart. I'm brave. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of heart. Anyway, I gotta go. You guys have a good day, man. I gotta work out. I'm talking too much. Have a good day. I'm out. Peace.